Welcome back to the inner circle of secrets behind the stars, where we don't just observe what's trending, we peel it apart, stitch by stitch, until the truth shows its face. The holidays are supposed to lull the world into nostalgia and hot chocolate, but every so often, a moment slips out of routine and detonates across the internet. This time, it wasn't a movie trailer or a studio leak. It was quieter. Softer. And then it swelled into something massive. A single post turned into a tidal wave of whispers. The names at the heart of it? Two figures who know how to light up a screen simply by sharing one, Barış and Elçin Sangu. Before we unpack the image that hijacked a week of festivities, a question for the ones who love a good unraveling. Are you here to spectate, or are you here to investigate? If you crave this level of excavation, make sure you're subscribed to Secrets Behind the Stars. And for those who want to slip behind the velvet rope and keep us digging without compromise, the join button is right there. Your support keeps the lights on and the hunt alive. Now, take a breath and hold it, we're going to the photo that set the room on fire. No teasers. No billboard campaign. No PR breadcrumbs tossed into the ether. It arrived like a door left open on a windy night, unexpected and impossible to ignore. A carousel of images, not glossy and staged, but warm and unguarded, like someone forgot for a second that millions would look in. The scene felt cinematic in miniature, a room aglow with delicate white fairy lights, golden ornaments catching flickers from a fireplace, a velvet sofa crowned with a blanket that spelled out one thing: home. In the center, shaping the evening with their hands, stood Barış and Elçin Sangu, mid-ritual, mid-laughter, mid-something. They were dressing a Christmas tree together with a rhythm that looked practiced, intimate, unhurried. Elçin was wrapped in a red and white look that captured holiday joy without falling into costume, a balance she hits with effortless precision. She moved like she belonged in that glow. Beside her, Barış kept it understated, clean lines, a relaxed athletic touch, the kind of presence that doesn't ask for attention because it already has it. They passed ornaments, shared glances that flashed and faded, stepped back in sync to admire the lights they'd just set. There were no magazine-perfect smiles here, no rigid angles. The frames felt like they were taken between breaths, as if a friend quietly pressed the shutter. And that, more than anything, made the internet pause. Because candid is convincing. Candid is dangerous. That convincing quality turned a simple greeting into a case file. Because here's the detail that pinched the nerves: though Barış and Elçin are forever linked in the public imagination, their recent professional lives have traveled on parallel streets. They haven't shared a set in ages. They haven't teased a project. So the question that piled up beneath the post was less about fashion and more about context. If they're not promoting anything, why this atmosphere? Why this domestic shorthand, this language you usually earn one quiet evening at a time? In minutes, fandom split into two camps. The realists took the measured path: it's a New Year's gathering, a meet-up among old friends, a happy coincidence of schedules and mutual circles. Then came the louder faction, the ones who read between the frames. They saw the easy geometry of how they stood, the unforced choreography of two people who aren't performing for an audience because there is no audience to please. The comments sang in unison. Their off-screen chemistry has always been a rumor. Tonight, it feels like a confession. From there, the analysis deepened, the way it always does when romance and nostalgia collide. Industry voices watched the numbers climb and gently fanned the embers. Fans drafted think pieces on their feeds. Threads appeared with side-by-side comparisons, timestamps, and slow-motion breakdowns of how his hand hovered, how her smile softened, how the light fell. If this isn't a scene from a scripted reunion, asked one viral comment, then what else could it be? When official statements don't arrive, the internet doesn't wait, it investigates the furniture. So the digital sleuths sharpened their eyes and went to work. There was a reflection in the windowpane that gave away the layout of the space. The carpet's pattern matched something glimpsed months ago in a quiet story posted at an odd hour. A tray with golden handles appeared like a recurring character, once in the corner of a candid from spring, now front and center, serving hot drinks. The conclusion gathered weight: this wasn't a rented villa or a savvy location. This was a home. Then came the caption. Elçin, famous for guarding the edges of her private life with care, wrote a line that poured gasoline on a candle flame. The spirit of the new year has enveloped our home. Our. That single word detonated in the comments like a chorus. Not my space. Not this place. Our home. Shared walls, shared keys, shared mornings. A minute later, Barış dropped in, and with the most minimal contribution, an understated comment punctuated by a single heart, unlocked a floodgate. In celebrity code, restraint is loud. Friends from the industry surfaced with polite encouragement, loving wishes, a sprinkle of winks. You too glow, said one. Let the year be kind to both of you, wrote another. Some stopped just short of spelling out what fans had already declared. A few dodged it with humor. All of it layered the moment with a feeling that hadn't been present in years. This wasn't just nostalgia, it was a new chapter, or at least the suggestion of one. What came next was perhaps the most telling piece of the puzzle: silence. No clarifications. No hashtags. No neatly packaged denial. In a business where volume buys attention, the decision to say nothing read as careful. Rumors swirled from credible corners that this didn't appear out of nowhere, but was the soft unveiling of something that's been growing behind closed doors for months. Supposedly there were small dinners at homes that never host headlines, late evening conversations in quiet corners at events where cameras didn't drift, deliberate choices to keep the center of gravity small and safe. The privacy tracks, too, both of them have long histories of protecting the sanctity of what isn't meant for consumption. So if they chose this moment, the threshold between what has been and what's about to be, it feels intentional. Is this a soft launch, the gentle reveal of a relationship fans have begged to believe in? Or is it the pre-game for a screen reunion crafted by hands that count impressions and forecast box office heat? There are producers watching those engagement numbers with sparkling eyes, aware that if Barış and Elçin return to the same frame on purpose, the audience is already seated, hearts open, tickets figuratively bought. But hold that thought. What do you think? Is this the genesis of the year's most unexpected love story, or the smartest overture to a project designed to set records? Tell us in the comments. And if you're savoring this deep dive, remember, our membership community powers investigations that can't be reduced to a headline. Click join and step into the room where theories are built. For those with the patience to scan the edges of the photo, a detail waited under the tree. Gifts, carefully arranged, paper in classic hues, bows that looked tied by a patient hand, boxes in a choreography of sizes. It read like a night planned to be remembered. Some said it was set dressing, an aesthetic flourish. Others insisted the care implied intention, not props, a night crafted for two people who know exactly what they mean to each other. Timing matters too. When two names like this appear in the same intimate frame, it isn't an accident. It's a tremor. And they didn't deny it. No firm lines drawn, no quick redirect to a PR storyline. The silence became a kind of music, and the song it played only pulled more people in. That's how mystery works. Every hour without explanation doubles the appetite. Every minor clue turns into a major breadcrumb. Every glance is studied, every phrase replayed, every digital footprint mapped to a timeline that fans claim they've been building since the first day they met them through a screen. So where do we stand? Suspended, beautifully. The audience is alert, engaged, and already halfway in love with the possibility that Barış and Elçin didn't just share a post, they shared a threshold. Maybe this is a romance rekindled in the quiet weeks around the year's end. Maybe this is a professional alliance teased with the subtlest of nods. Either way, they have our attention, and they got it without making a sound louder than a laugh caught between tree branches. We're watching closely, as you are. Will another post drop? A story from the same living room, a hint of the same velvet and the same golden tray? Or will they let the image do what it's doing? Speak softly and be heard anyway. Whatever follows, you'll catch the first echo here. Thank you for spending your evening with Secrets Behind the Stars. If you haven't yet, subscribe, and consider hitting join to be part of the community that keeps this conversation rich and fearless. Until the next clue arrives, keep your eyes open, keep your heart steady, and don't forget, sometimes the quietest pictures tell the loudest truths. And because we know you notice everything, we'll end on one last whisper of a detail. In the final panel of that carousel, tucked almost out of frame, there was a lingering shot of their handiwork, the star at the top leaning ever so slightly to the left, the kind of imperfection only two people laughing in real time would leave uncorrected. It looked like life, not a campaign. It looked like a moment sturdy enough to hold the weight of an entire internet asking, is this real? Maybe the answer is simpler than we want it to be. Maybe it's right there in the glow on their faces, the unplanned symmetry of how they stand, the word that refuses to lose its gravity, our. Until next time, this has been Secrets Behind the Stars, where the stories you love are taken seriously enough to be told softly, and the softest stories are given the dignity to unfold.